In the late summer of 1966, an ordinary working-class family moved into a newly built suburban home at number 30 East Drive in Yorkshire, England. Joe and Jean Pritchard, along with their two young children, Philip and Diane, believed they had finally found the perfect place to settle down. The house was clean, modern, and surrounded by quiet, peaceful neighborhoods. But within just days of moving in, the warm atmosphere inside the brick walls turned incredibly cold and heavy. The family had absolutely no idea that their new home was built directly over a medieval execution ground, where a notorious 16th century monk had met a dark, violent end. The strange events inside the house began very quietly, almost unnoticed. A freezing, bitter wind would suddenly sweep through the sealed living room, even when all the thick wooden windows were tightly shut. Then, a strange white powder began falling mysteriously from the ceilings, covering the expensive furniture like winter snow. The family tried their best to ignore it at first, attributing the occurrences to the old plumbing or the settling foundation of the house. But the hidden force inside number 30 was only growing stronger, gathering energy, and waiting for the right moment to reveal its true presence to the terrified inhabitants. One ordinary evening, while the entire family was sitting quietly in the kitchen, a heavy metal tea dispenser suddenly lifted into the air on its own. It levitated for a few terrifying seconds before crashing violently onto the hard floor. Pools of unexplained green sludge started leaking from the walls, emitting a foul, unbearable odor that filled every room. The family immediately called in local investigators, newspaper reporters, and even a priest to perform an exorcism, but the phenomenon refused to leave. Instead, the entity finally manifested physically in front of them. Multiple witnesses saw a tall, faceless figure draped in heavy, dark robes, hovering silently in the hallway near the stairs. The black monk had officially claimed the house, and the nightmare was only beginning. The physical encounters soon targeted the youngest daughter, 12-year-old Diane. The invisible entity showed a dark, aggressive obsession with the young girl. Objects would fly violently across her bedroom whenever she stepped inside. One night, while she was sleeping, a freezing, invisible grip wrapped tightly around her ankle, dragging her screaming out of bed and up the dark stairs. Heavy red and purple bruises appeared on her skin, yet no physical intruder was ever found. The family tried desperately to protect her, but the phantom's movements were too fast and unpredictable for human defense. The local community in Yorkshire was quickly thrown into a deep panic. Neighbors started reporting a tall, dark silhouette peering out of the top floor windows late at night when the house was completely empty. Heavy, rhythmic footsteps echoed through the rooms when the family was away. Even seasoned paranormal investigators and journalists who spent the night inside left before dawn, completely terrified by the intense physical weight in the air and the sound of invisible walls cracking around them. By the late 1960s, the psychological tension became absolutely unbearable for the Pritchard family. Realizing they could never win against this unseen forces, they packed their essential bags and abandoned the property forever, leaving the dark force behind. Today, number 30 East Drive remains standing, completely frozen in time. It is widely considered by researchers to be one of the most volatile and active locations in history. Visitors still report feeling an icy touch and hearing low whispers, a permanent reminder that the Black Monk never truly left the premises.